Kelly. I live in Dunshaughlin with my partner and 4 kids. We've been here for about 3.5 years, 4 years. Yeah, and I'm a stay-at-home mum. A knife, a lighter and a flashlight. Matter as long as I had the kids with me and my partner. Doesn't matter as long as they're with me. Can't go for a drive on my own, radio blaring. That's my sort of escape route. And is 12. He has a diagnosis of ADHD, dyspraxia and anxiety. Quiva is 10. She has a diagnosis of ADD. Cara is 7. She has a diagnosis of dyspraxia, ADD, anxiety. And then Adon, who is also 7, he has a diagnosis of verbal dyspraxia and anxiety. No, they found it hard to accept. One of the comments was, why do you want to put a label on them? People don't understand that you need to have diagnosis to get services for kids that have additional needs. So my mum, who's really old school and who actually works in a school, was sort of, why do you want a label? And I was floored by that. And my response to her was, well, I need to get services for my children. That's why I want to call it a label, call it a diagnosis, call it what you want, but I need it on paper. Annoyed at the fact that, I suppose it's just the uneducated response from people. You know, that's what gets me. People not knowing, people not understanding, and, you know, it all comes down to being uneducated about certain aspects of life. My mum and my partner, yeah, feelings have changed, but you still come across people who are very uneducated about special needs of children and kids who are autistic, Asperger's, whatever you want to call it. You have some people that just, oh, they're bold. And you're looking at them saying, really? You don't know my life, you know? So, yeah, it's changed to a certain point, but then you just have the uneducated people coming along and passing comment that you just look and say, get a life, really. Bringing them to all the appointments on my own. So we have had millions of appointments since Sean's 12. So he was diagnosed in 2012. So for the last 8 years, I've been bringing them to appointments on my own. And I don't know whether you've noticed, I've got twins. So when they started off, I was bringing the 2 of them, you know. So yeah, it's quite gone. But, you know, I'm 8 years down the line. I've figured out how to do it on my own. Yeah. And having to take in all the information and then coming home and saying, oh, did they say this? Did they say that? You know, sort of trying to remember everything. You're trying to take everything in. Speech and language, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, CAMS, yeah, all of it. Was 2012, Sam was only 4, so he was one of the youngest kids in the country diagnosed with dyspraxia, because you don't normally diagnose dyspraxia until they're at least 7. But he was only 4 when he got diagnosed because he was that bad. So then Quiva would have been probably 2016, and then the twins were probably 2016. They were, yeah, so they were probably 4, yeah, when they started with Enable Ireland, so around 2016, 2017. Senan, he was my first, so I didn't know any different. But for a child that kept falling and walking into doors, and the frame of doors had no body spatial awareness, like would sit on top of you, not realising that he was there. And I went to the doctor from the from when he was 2, and the doctor kept saying to me, oh, he's just clumsy, he's a clumsy boy. And I'm saying, no, not when you're talking to a child and he drops like a sack of spuds. That's not normal. So 2 years I fought to get a referral to Temple Street, and when we did in 2012, he was diagnosed, I suppose, within first 3 weeks of attending Temple Street, he got the diagnosis. Dream school. With Senan, now that he's in secondary school, he's overwhelmed by the volume of work. So I'll just give you an example. Before the midterm on the Tuesday, he messaged me at 20 to 10, bearing in mind he's only in school since 8:45. He had a pain in his tummy. So me being me, went and got him. Left him off on the Wednesday. Then on the Wednesday evening, I don't feel well. I don't want to go to school. I said, you're going, unless your head is hanging off, you're going to school. So off he went to school on the Thursday morning. And I get the message at 11:30. My tummy's at me. I said, right, son, you were fine yesterday. I need to know what's going on. You either tell me what's going on in school or you suck it up. So he chose to stay in school for the day. He came home, but I knew by his body language that there was something really, really at him. So it came that he had 4 weeks of science work to catch up on. He didn't do it over the 4 weeks, and he was just so overwhelmed by this. He had double science on the Friday. So yeah. The others, it could be just being out of routine. Like midterm break is normally, I would say horrific, but it's tough going because the routine is gone, you know, that type of way. It's hard to say, you know, what would trigger. I know with Senan what his is. He gets so overwhelmed with the volume of work. With the others, they don't have that much work, but it could be just that they're tired, or with Aidan especially, he gets sensory overload, so his ears are quite sensitive, you know, so he can have a meltdown that way, or if they're just nitpicking at each other. Just a big bear hug. Yeah, just wrap, like when I say wrap my arms around them, I squeeze them, and then they just go off. I think it's, for mine, it's just the need to feel sort of the warmth of somebody that is there for them regardless of what's going on, sort of thing. And that's what we just say to the older fella, you know, regardless of what happens, we have your back. Whether you're right or wrong, we will. Food, yes, they don't eat certain things. I mean, did lunch the other day and I had to do eggs 4 different ways because one only likes boiled, one only likes scrambled, one only likes fried, and the other only likes poached. If it's school, yes, with Senan, with the science and the anxiety kicking in. Cara, when she has to draw something, she gets sort of in a bit of a tizzy. Yeah, just general sort of things that they have a fear of, as in drawing. Senan just gets overwhelmed. Yes, we did. When Aidan started talking, stairs with his daddy, he had his daddy by the hand, and where my stairs is, you can actually see, if you look through the banisters, you can see into the kitchen. And he just turned around and he says, I love you, Mummy. Well, and be prepared for a long, hard battle. And that's, I suppose, the battle first and foremost is with yourself.